Hello and welcome to the South Indian. My name is Sudha Sadanand and let's get started with the top headlines from the south of India on your screens right now. Lokayukta police questions former Muda commissioner PS Kantaraju in the alleged scam case. NIA secures extradition of Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist Salman Rehman Khan from Rwanda in Bengaluru prison's terror conspiracy case. Karnataka High Court adjourns hearing of B.S. Yedurappa's plea seeking cancellation of POCSO case against him to 2nd of December. Patients continue to suffer as air conditioning fails at the BMCRI hospital in Bengaluru. Several elective surgeries have been postponed. Kerala government and Adani both sign a supplementary agreement to enhance Vizhinjam seaport development. Alright, let's tell you what all is coming up on this show called the South Indian. First up on your screens, heavy rains continue to lash several parts of Tamil Nadu. Orange alert issued as state braces for Cyclone Fengal. Next, major cabinet reshuffle on the cards in Karnataka. At least 20 candidates in the fray for ministerial berths. In Tamil Nadu, Chief Minister Stalin says no to PM Vishwakarma scheme, says scheme could lead to caste-based discrimination. The Dequina Commission report accuses KSMSCL of making rupees 45 crores worth of unauthorized procurement during the COVID-19 pandemic. Alright then, that's our lead story. Tamil Nadu braces for Cyclone Fangle. Let's get you all the latest details on it. Heavy rains and gusty winds of up to 70 kilometers per hour continue to lash several parts of Tamil Nadu as the state prepares for Cyclone Fangle. Yellow and orange alerts have been issued in Chennai, Kanchipuram, Chengalpet, Villipuram as well as Kadalur. Heavy to very heavy rainfall is expected in all these places and may continue till 1st of December as the cyclone is likely to make a landfall on the 30th of November. As a result of which, schools and colleges have been shut and several flight operations have also been impacted due to the torrential rains. In Tamil Nadu's Kaveri Delta region, heavy rains have destroyed crops worth over 2,000 acres of paddy fields remaining submerged underwater. Of all the regions, heavy rains and gusty winds of 70 kilometers have been lashing continuously in Tamil Nadu. One of the major places which has been impacted is of course Nagapattinam, because in Nagapattinam several people have been shifted. Around 1,032 people from 371 families have been shifted across 12 camps, while several people were also shifted as a precautionary measure. Others were moved to safety following flooding in low-lying and vulnerable areas. The IMD has warned fishermen to stay ashore as the deep depression over southwest Bay of Bengal is set to intensify into a cyclonic storm in the following days. The Indian Navy and the Indian Coast Guard have been working on a war footing on emergency supplies, stockpiling food, water and medical supplies. Take a look on your screens right now, the visuals of how the water of the sea is lashing and there is turbulence. Navy helicopters have been deployed in the region and NDRF teams are inspecting vulnerable and low-lying areas and constantly evacuating people to safety. Those are the visuals. Look at those paddy fields submerged underwater. This is Tamil Nadu, which is bracing itself for Cyclone Fengal. But nothing to worry, as all the emergency measures are in place. And according to the government of Tamil Nadu and the Chief Minister Stalin, as well as Deputy Chief Minister Udayanidhi Stalin, all preparations have been made and people do not have to worry, as many families have been evacuated and shifted to safe havens. All right, then from Tamil Nadu, which is bracing itself for a cyclone, we shift to Karnataka, where there is a lot of turbulence as well. That's our story, the impending Karnataka cabinet reshuffle. Getting you all the details, you heard it first here. A major cabinet reshuffle is on the cards in Karnataka, with a chance of at least 6 to 7 ministerial posts undergoing changes. There are indications that at least 20 candidates are vying for some positions or the other in the cabinet, and of these, at least 4 to 5 disgruntled leaders are demanding ministerial posts, as was made clear by Chief Minister Siddaramaiah a couple of weeks ago. B. Nagendra, who's out on bail in the Valmiki scam case, shall of course find a place in the cabinet. However, aspirants are also arguing that fresh faces, including new MLAs, should be prioritized during this reshuffle. So there is a lot of push and pull there. Both Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar are all set to attend the AICC-CWC meeting tomorrow. Of course, for more on this as to who's in and who's out and who's a hopeful and who's angry, let me now go across to my colleague Mohammad Wajiullah, who's reporting live from Bengaluru. Hi Vaji, good to have you on the broadcast. Tell us Vaji, this has been going on now for some time. We heard Satish Jharkioli yesterday and you broke the story about how he made it very clear that of course there are going to be changes, although a lot of people are tight-lipped about it. So first, Nagendra, do you think he is in for sure?
Well, he's a hopeful candidate and he's somebody who's also been endorsed by the Chief Minister. If you remember, 2 weeks back, we broke on our channel how the Chief Minister on the stage when he was speaking to Valmiki Samaj, and he had said that he's looking to get Nagendra back into the cabinet. So Nagendra is one of the possibilities in this entire matter, Sudha.
All right. And also, you know, if you remember when the government was formed, which I think, Vaji, is going to be 2 years now or more than 2 years. And I remember, you know, around 6 to 7 months, I saw what had happened is they said, listen, we are not getting any kind of a position in the corporations as well. You know, you keep promising us, but you've never delivered. Also, there are lots of, you know, like Seth, all these people have been in the queue. So tell me something, that is it being seen as a major challenge for Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivakumar, or they are comfortable to kind of shift people around?
So this time around, it is a challenge because there is a chance of at least 5 to 6 people getting a cabinet position, in a ministerial position in the cabinet. But the aspirants are close to 20 of them. You have B.K. Hariprasad, who is a loyalist in the party, who's on the screen right now. Then you have Lakshman Savadi, who shifted from the BJP, and he also needs to be rewarded for coming to the party. Then you have people like N.A. Harris, who've been trying to be a part of the ministerial cabinet for a very long time. Then you have leaders who've embarrassed the party in the past. Comment to say that there are people who are using their ministerial post as of now as a bargaining chip to get other positions within the party also. So what we are seeing right now here is that the government will have a tough time because you have a prospective list of 20 people and you have to shortlist only 5 to 6. It's getting tougher than the IAS exams over here.
Tell me something about the excise minister. Don't you think that he will clearly be shown the door, Timapur?
Well, Timapur today speaking to the press was very disheartened and he gave out a statement saying that why are you behind me? What is it that I have done wrong? I'm here to clean up the excise minister. All the allegations that have been leveled against me are allegations that have leveled against every excise minister in the past of some or the other bribe being taken for license or anything. And this is not something new. What the Prime Minister has also gone on to say is misleading. So Timmapur is worried with the fact that his excise ministry will be taken away. But whether that will happen or not is something we'll have to wait and watch. But the allegation and the Prime Minister jumping into it is something that may add some pressure to it. But when he spoke to the press, he was very saddened, disheartened on why there is this pressure against him. So we might see him, we might see Zamir Ahmed because of the racist comment. There were people who wrote against him. So these are two people who have the axe on them. Then there are others who could be taken out because of the lack of their work or because somebody else needs to be given a chance. Like you mentioned, it's almost 2 years now for the party and a reshuffle is on the card. It may happen before the Belgaum session is what we've been told.
But then talking about Belgaum, a lot of these ministers or leaders who won from there, they have time and again said, Belagavi is very important, there is no representation, we are very, very important component. Do you think someone from that region will be invited into the cabinet or not, Vaji?
Well, yeah, that is something that is a part of discussion in the Karnataka circles, in the ministerial circles, because yes, Belgavi is a very tipping point in the region. It is something that is attached to Bombay and it always in part of the conflict with Maharashtra claiming it being a part of their region and Karnataka claiming it to be a part of the, with regards with the name also, Belgaum is something that the Maharashtrians say, Belgavi is something that the Karnataka people say. So yes, that is one bone of contention. And what the BJP has done is very smartly used this as a pitch recently. And I've said that they will, in this Belgaum session, they will allow the northern leaders to speak a lot because it is their issue that has to be highlighted. And it's the Karnataka government who's only concentrating in the center and the south and has ignored these people over there. So we might see some aspirants from there also making the cut in the cabinet.
Okay, tell me something, Vaji, that what is the plan of the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister? You know, they are both coming to Delhi. There is a CWC. Is there, you know, you were also telling us in the newsroom that there could be some talk about perhaps changing the KPCC president as well?
Also, yes, the CWC meeting is there. Both of them are over there. And in the past few days, we've been seeing a rumbling with regards to the KPCC presidential post. We've seen Satish Jarkioli demanding for it. We've seen other leaders also. And just now, as we speak, 10-15 minutes back, HK Patil coming out of the cabinet meeting had given a bite saying that there are some leaders who are using their ministerial post as a bargaining chip to get the KPCC president post. Now, this is something that only will be decided by the High Command and the High Command will take that call. Both these leaders who are as of now aspirants, one leader who's actually an aspirant and one who's already sitting on the KPCC chair, both have them shown their mettle. DK Shivkumar with regards to the Chanpatna election and how he's handled the affairs as a deputy chief minister and how he's won the Karnataka and how he's brought the government back to power with 138. And on the other hand, you have Satish Jarkioli, who also is another stalwart from the Bellary region. He holds the Ahinda vote bank after Siddaramaiah, and he's also somebody who's a very big leader in the SC/ST community. So he's also an aspirant. He was actually an aspirant for the chief minister post. A few days back, he also gave a statement in 2028 he might ask for the chief ministerial post because as of now he feels that's not going to happen because he was one of that who had aimed for the sun and now he'll have to settle for the moon. So he's now behind the KPCC post too.
You know, before I let you go, I have 1 minute left, Vaji. There is so much to talk to you always. But I want to ask you, when he gets Nagendra back, don't you think there will be bitter criticism, Vaji? He's still someone who's an accused, no?
Well, that is one of the most controversial steps that Siddaramaiah will be taking because the investigation is still going on. From what we've learned from our sources in the investigation, the entire amount of 180 crores, 160 crores, out of that close to 150 crore has been recovered, but that's not the entire matter. The matter is a minister who's got his name mired into corruption and he also was stepped down. So what Siddaramaiah believes is that these allegations have now been sorted out. He believed that there was no role of Nagendra, but in the eyes of the people and the opposition especially will be using that as an ammunition against the government. Because Nagendra, though he's out on bail, he's still not clean. He's not given a clean sheet by anybody. So that will be a thorn in the cabinet. How much will Siddaramaiah be able to convince other leaders that yes, we have to get Nagendra to woo the Valmiki community is something that will be seen in the cabinet, and that will be something that will be exciting for us as the political observers in the city.
That note, Mohammad Wajiullah, as always, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. So exciting times, like my colleague Wajiullah says. We'll have lots more to talk about, several stories to do. And the next story is on Tamil Nadu, and that's a very important story indeed, and that's what we are talking about. Stalin says no. He says no to centre's Vishwakarma scheme. So what exactly is the Vishwakarma scheme? Is something Stalin feels could lead to caste-based discrimination, and the tussle between the Tamil Nadu government led by Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and the central government just does not go away. In the latest, Stalin has informed the Union Minister for MSME, Jiten Ram Manjhi, that Tamil Nadu will not implement the Pradhan Mantri Vishwakarma Yojana in its current form. This central scheme, envisaged at the cost of 13,000 crores, was launched on 17th of September 2023 and towards improving the quality of artisans' products and services, besides taking their products widely, both in the domestic and global markets. Stalin wrote a letter to Manjhi and registered his objection and said that the scheme needs to be more inclusive and align with the state's principles of social justice. His fear that the scheme would lead to caste-based employment. As a result, the Tamil Nadu government constituted a committee to study the scheme, which threw up some of the changes and which were conveyed to the Prime Minister. The changes to the Vishwakarma scheme and as conveyed to the centre were as follows. A. The mandatory requirement that the applicant's family should be involved in a traditional family-based business should be removed. Instead, any person who wants to take up any profession listed in the guidelines should be eligible to get assistance under this scheme. The minimum age limit for beneficiaries of this scheme can be increased to 35. Thus, only those who are well versed in their family businesses and who can continue it can avail the benefits under the scheme. In rural areas, the responsibility of verifying beneficiaries should be given to the village administrative officer of the revenue department instead of the Gram Panchayat president. In his letter, Stalin said that the central government had ignored the recommendations made by the state. The Tamil Nadu Chief Minister was extremely clear that although they shall bypass the centre's Vishwakarma scheme, the state shall curate one of its own, which shall be more inclusive and devoid of any caste-based discrimination. On your screens right now, what the Vishwakarma scheme, as mooted by the centre, is planning to do: cover 18 categories of artisans and craftspeople, Pradhan Mantri Vishwakarma certificate and an identity card to be provided to those joining the scheme, providing a daily allowance of 500 each to those undergoing training. Later, financial assistance of 15,000 would be provided to buy the necessary tools, an interest-free loan of up to 1 lakh as the first installment and 2 lakhs at an interest of 5% as the second installment. The irony of it all is that the central government scheme has received, brace yourself, 8,39,680 applications from Tamil Nadu, despite Muka Stalin's refusal to implement in the state. So what is this rejection all about? Is it about reiterating that the state believes in casteless society? Or is it just about protesting anything that trickles down right from the top, and that being New Delhi? Salem Dharnidharan, spokesperson for the DMK, is with us. S. Muralidharan, who is a political analyst, is also with us. And Narayan Tirupati, Vice President of BJP from Tamil Nadu, is joining us on the phone line. Vanakkam, a very, very warm welcome to all of you. Narayan, if you can hear me, Narayan, and I want to ask you that what is this protesting, I mean, I'll of course ask the relevant caste-based kind of freebies, or empowering them is a different question that I'll ask the DMK spokesperson, but I'm asking you, what do you think is the objection all about? It is empowering those who are marginalized.
There is absolutely no meaning in what he has written. It is baseless, and nowhere in this Vishwakarma Yojana scheme, absolutely no caste is being mentioned. It's very, very clear. It is to safeguard our traditional values, culture, etc. And also, in order to compete with the, the present world competition and also other things, the new technologies, we have to empower these people who have been doing for decades together, the entire the family business. So we need to empower them for giving new technology and also the equipments what they need to do. And this is what it is aimed at. And maybe Mr. Stalin is trying to safeguard the corporates and the bigger institutions. He doesn't want small people who are in the villages, the scheduled caste people, OBCs, women and the youths who are the prime, who will be the prime beneficiaries. So they don't want these people to develop. That is the main reason he is saying that this is a caste-based scheme, which nowhere it is mentioned. So we strongly condemn this. I want Mr. Stalin to take back his statement. And immediately, as you rightly said, lakhs and lakhs of people have enrolled in it. So they have to, definitely they have applied for it. They have to implement the scheme.
And if you are going to play to because of my caste or your caste or someone else's caste, for all that is being done to empower someone, I mean, if it's going to impact people like that, then we had it. Selam Dharnidharan, let me welcome you to the show. Selam Dharnidharan, what is so casteist about this entire thing, sir?
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me on the show.
Hi.
See, first and foremost, my personal opinion is also that the state government should be given autonomy when it comes to schemes. As of now, what is happening is a lot of the funds is going to the union government. Okay, some part comes back, which is a different debate. But even the fund that comes back, we are forced to spend a lot of that money or major portion of that money on central government or union government schemes. Right? It's either through state central partnership or just the union government sending funds for the schemes, sectorally sponsored schemes. So this is very not unproductive for a country like India, because the states are really diverse, right? Some states have do as well as US on certain metrics, and some states are as bad as sub-Saharan.
Dharnidharan,
so
I asked you, I'm so sorry to interject. No, wait, I have three guests. No, let's be pointed. Selam Dharnidharan, everyone will get time. Please, I am making a submission to you, sir. I am asking you, sir, what is casteist about this thing? I understand.
Yes, I'm coming there. First, I made my point on why I am not for union governments implementing.
Okay, that we get. Okay.
Right, now, second point is why this is casteist. This is very similar to Kulakalvi system, which Rajaji brought about, which actually destroyed his political career in Tamil Nadu. Even his own party, then Congress, didn't accept that scheme. That's one. The second point is, if you go to the union government's PM Vishwakarma home/pact, right, frequently asked questions, it's clearly written, any craftsperson working with hands and tools and engaged in one of the above family-based traditional trades in unorganized sector, right? And again, the documents listed, they say they want documents to prove that you are in the trade of your parents, yourself, and your family members. That's point number 2. That they're talking about family occupation. And the third point, which my chief minister also has a problem, is minimum age is 18. And what are the trades? The trades are carpentry, boat making, blacksmith, hammer, toolkit maker, goldsmith, stone carvers. So see, in a Western democracy, maybe this could have been a good system. But here, we are ingrained in caste, and people, and caste and occupation is intertwined, which is why.
What about your government? What about your government, which goes on to do welfare schemes for Adi Dravidar? What is that? And when you do for, this, there is another scheme, Ayoti Dasa Panditar habitation. Wait. The more you speak about caste, the more you are bringing it into an ambit. I mean, my father was a goldsmith. I become a goldsmith. What is wrong with this? I'm sure that your leader or you, all of us are it is only later that we decided to go away. It's not about caste. I see it from the prism of economics. You are someone who studied it. Why can't you say what is wrong with a Shilpi being, whose father is making, let us say, statues for the son to make it? You are bringing it down. It is not the scheme. I'm taking a break, and after that I go to Muralidharan. Ladies and gents, this is Tamil Nadu. We're talking about the scheme, Vishwakarma scheme, to which Stalin has said no, and I think he's looking at it from the prism of caste. No one is doing that. Overreaction? We'll know after the break.
Truth can divide a nation, barely born.
At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps,
Truth can end 400 years of oppression. Truth is never forgotten.
India will awake to life and freedom.
Truth can make you believe in miracles, in magic. Truth. Truth can shake the world, move it, and bring it to a standstill. Because truth sets you free. For a century, we've been the voice of truth. The voice of the nation since 1924.
News9 ग्लोबल समिट में आए सभी साथियों को मेरा नमस्कार। मुझे इस बात की भी खुशी है कि News9 इंग्लिश न्यूज चैनल भी लॉन्च किया जा रहा है।
Special congratulations to TV9. Now you are truly becoming global.
And therefore, I must congratulate Varun Das ji. He has, in his own way, started an epoch-making trend.
The News9 Global Summit is the latest example to demonstrate that India and Baden-Württemberg are getting closer in many different respects.
I compliment Mr. Jubali, Mr. Varun Das, and Mr. Kasper, conceptualizing and organizing this grand platform.
And I really want to thank TV9 Group, and it's a harbinger of many things to come.
All right, that's the story we are discussing. Stalin says no to centre's Vishwakarma scheme. Let me now go across to yet another expert on the panel, S. Muralidharan, senior political analyst. Muralidharan, what is your view on this entire thing? Much ado about nothing?
One word is drama. See, whoever is writing the script or asking the chief minister to say no should look at their own house before doing so. See, the Dalit atrocities at the highest in the last 3 years, which is DMK. And Vengavaya, still not solved. Nobody knows who did it. Okay. Kallakurchi liquor incidents, all those Dalits who died will be laughing, or, they'll be like rolling in their grave when they hear this social justice saying that Vishwakarma should be abolished. Now, having said all that, on the other side, it's BJP, right? I think they are hand in glove right now, because there are so many inquiries regarding, sand quarrying, etc., all opposing Mr. Sandil Balaji's reappointment as minister. Nothing is taking place in the Supreme Court also. So these two parties are actually keeping us entertained with this kind of, day-to-day drama. And people are really fed up. People, I don't think, is really, listening to all these excuses or whatever the DMK is saying day-to-day. Because, it's come out in today's paper that, so much of sand quarrying has happened in Coimbatore, which is absolutely the civil servants as well as the politicians are hand in glove, that has gone completely unnoticed. And the High Court is so furious, they have even summoned the Superintendent of Police and the mining commissioner, etc., to come to the court next for the next hearing.
All right.
So this is the kind of atrocity which is happening.
You think it's drama, and BJP and DMK are in hand in glove in this? Interesting. Narayanan, would you like to respond? Because you were hammer and tongs and you said this is completely unacceptable. Muralidharan says they are both, hand in glove in this. How? I don't understand.
I can only pity my friend Muralidharan's innocence or his arrogance, to bring BJP into this. This scheme was done during the 7th month of, the 19th month of 2023. From then on, we have been saying that this scheme should be implemented throughout India and particularly in Tamil Nadu, where we have a lot of people who want this. So, and why I said innocence is, he says that Senthil Balaji's case have not been taken into Supreme Court. What does the BJP government or BJP has got something to do with the Supreme Court? I don't understand. That is why I said either it is innocence of Muralidharan or his arrogance. I don't know. Whether he doesn't know, it is innocence. If he knows, it is his arrogance. So, comparing this with other politics is absolutely, I'm telling you, it is...
Yeah, but the moot point is about it being casteist, and I really don't understand how. Because if there is no caste, I mean, why do we look at, any kind of a profession? Then, Dharanidharan, please let me have Dharanidharan on the screen. You are actually then, ratifying or validating, the Varna system. Your leaders are against it. Varna system is, my father was someone who broke stones, I should also do it. Therefore, you are doing it indirectly like that, I say. Why don't you just look at it that if the father was making mridangam, or let us say veena, anything, the son also or the daughter also does it, let's empower them. I have no problems with him re-looking at it, to curate it according to you. But where do I see caste in this, Dharanidharan? I don't, please pardon me, but I don't understand this. I mean, some of these artisans are fantastic, and I think they are much better than you and I who went to privileged universities.
No one is denying that they're fantastic, they're incredible. And what the chief is also saying is that we will introduce better schemes which is more inclusive. Right? So, and I think you'll have to give me time. And as such, a 30-minute show in a debate is very little time for me to explain nitty-gritties of caste and how to promote caste. But the whole point, as I explained earlier, family-based occupations and family ID cards. These are the problem. To promote people to learn these skills, we would say, great, it's a great scheme. But anyone, right, who wants to be a carpenter should be encouraged. Why do you need your Aadhaar card of the family members as a proof to show that the father was involved? That is the problem. And even the CM has said the new scheme Tamil Nadu government will increase the age to 35, because the remaining 17 years they can see that if they want to pursue this vocational training or different vocational training. And I think no one can deny for 100 years from the days of Justice Party, then Dravida Kalagam and then DMK, we have always been against caste system. And anything that caste system does is to promote occupation based on caste. Right. I think that perpetuates inequality, and that's against social justice.
How? I mean, you are just parroting. You are just parroting. I'm sorry, Dharanidharan, you are a very erudite man, and I love having you on my show. I mean, you actually elevate this. Today you are parroting the lines of your leader. There is, I am also logical. No, you are parroting. You are parroting. My father was a singer. I am a singer. What's wrong with it? And my identity card is going to say Sudha Sadanand, Pradhan Mantri Vishwakarma. It's not going to say my father's name, my grandfather's name, etc. There is no logic. No, the eligibility is not according to that.
Family members.
Narayanan, please come in here. Is it that I have to wear a kind of a, thing that my father's name and I belong to this? Not at all.
See, I'm telling you, Mr. Karunanidhi asked one day that why not a person involved in the movie, Cinefield, his son should not come.
No,
when a doctor's son can become a doctor, when a lawyer's son can become a lawyer, why not a cinema person's son become a cinema person? This is what Mr. Karunanidhi asked. Now, Mr. Stalin is opposing it.
Yeah, but Mr. Stalin acted in a movie and Udayanidhi also acted in a movie. I don't understand all this.
For Udayanidhi only, Mr. Karunanidhi asked this question.
Stalin also acted in a movie. I remember it very well. Yes. Of course he did.
Yes.
Muralidharan, you just come in here, and do you agree with this that, it is not inclusive, it is exclusive? I mean, to use another word, that it is caste based and it is not inclusive. I don't understand that, to encourage a mridangam maker whose father, grandfather were doing the same, because he's learnt a skill, I say, he's going to earn some money through it. What is so wrong about it, Murali?
Absolutely nothing, because for a simple reason, mridangam players don't exist anymore. Similarly, elephant mahouts don't exist anymore, because they try to westernize our culture with all kind of ideologies, forgetting where we come from. India is not Europe, for us to, forget our history, because they never had history, so there's nothing great about it. But we have a fantastic history where we had all these people, right from playing drums to making, mridangams to, mahau tree, all this. These are our tradition and culture. And if a father is doing it, what's wrong in son doing it? It's end of the day, he's getting employment. That's what matters. There's so many people without jobs. Half of them are sitting in Tasmac outlets, outside Tasmac outlets, begging for, 10 rupees to buy a cutting. That's the status of the, state. So there's nothing wrong in it. I completely, oppose this, whatever the CM has said. But having said that, it all looks like drama. I don't think there's real welfare behind it or any social justice behind this.
Okay, let me go to Dharnidharan. Dharnidharan, how come that around nearly 9 lakh applications have been received from Tamil Nadu, despite the Chief Minister giving them assurance that the state will do something to customize it for them? Unmute please, Dharnidharan.
No, what I'm trying to say is, earlier the scheme had come and people had applied. Now the Chief Minister said based on a committee, it's not that we just came out and said no, we won't encourage this. A committee was set up, a committee completely read the scheme, went into the details of the scheme and then came up with recommendations and said based on that we will not implement this, but we will implement a better version of this. And the scheme will be implemented. I'm sure all these people will apply for the state government implemented scheme and they'll get benefited. See, when Mr. Muralidharan spoke, he said a lot of caste-based violences that take place. I'm very sorry about those caste-based violences that have taken place or incidences that have taken place. They have no place in the modern society, but they're not sponsored by the state. State is working against it. The government is working against caste-based violences or incidences that perpetuate casteism. Right? But to say that, oh, this has happened, so you should also encourage it, I think it makes no sense. As a state, we do not...
No one will encourage it. Let's not talk about states which have encouraged violence, but Dharnidharan, you have failed your government to completely put the fear of God in those who school children are carrying sickles and killing each other. They are wearing caste bands.
Anecdotes. See, these are anecdotes.
Anecdotes? You must be... Seriously? I can show you 10
Compare
cases.
Tamil Nadu with rest of India.
No, I'm talking about Tamil Nadu, sir. Sorry, sir. They wear caste bands. They wear caste bands. I have seen it in Coimbatore. I have seen it in Chengalpet, Vellore, Kanchipuram, where I belong. Caste bands to school. What is this? What is going on?
I read about that incident in newspaper, but these are isolated incidents. As such in Tamil Nadu, right, though there are caste-based violences happening here and there, we at the state as a government are trying to eliminate casteism.
And you are failing.
Which is why DMK as a government has also sponsored money for intercaste marriages, which government has done it in India, right? In order to create a casteless society. Look at the intention. Incidences do happen here and there, everywhere, across India, across the world. Hate incidences happen. In the West, they have a problem of racism.
You know what?
But as a state, as a government, what are we doing? What is important?
You know what? You're doing a great job. Like you said, you have this very, very noble intent. When your entire ideology is based on anti-caste and samutavam, that is, social justice and equality, and you're talking, you fail on a lot of these, that's when people start noticing you. It's not when you can scream from the rooftops and say, but at the end of the day, the results are not so, let's say, impressive. But you know what? I've completely run out of time. But I'm going to wait for your Vishwakarma guidelines to see how inclusive it's going to be. For now, thank you very much, Dharnidharan, Narayan Tirupati and S. Muralidharan for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you indeed. It's now time for a break, but let me announce what we are going to do after the break. Just don't miss it. The Quina Commission report accuses KSMSCL of making rupees 45 crores worth of unauthorized procurement during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is a story coming from Karnataka.
ग्लोबल समिट में आए सभी साथियों को मेरा नमस्कार। मुझे इस बात की भी खुशी है कि न्यूज़ 9 इंग्लिश न्यूज़ चैनल भी लॉन्च किया जा रहा है।
Special congratulations to TV9. Now you are truly becoming global.
And therefore, I must congratulate Varun Das ji. He has, in his own way, started an epoch-making trend.
The News9 Global Summit is a latest example to demonstrate that India and Baden-Württemberg are getting closer in many different respects.
I compliment Mr. Jubali, Mr. Varun Das, and Mr. Casper, conceptualizing and organizing this grand platform.
And I really want to thank TV9 Group, and it's a harbinger of many things to come.
India and Denmark have had diplomatic ties ever since 1949.
मेरा नाम Freddy है. My wish is that we'll be a source of inspiration and hopefully India will take benefit. We are also working with the Indian side to secure that we can have common platform that will go beyond the pure bilateral relations. Article 370 was just an interim rule that had to be done away with at some point of time. I've seen how India has transformed. Viksit Bharat will turn into Viksit Dunya because India has a lot to offer. So, dhanyavad.
This is The Diplomat.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
All right, that's our next story. We are now in Karnataka. And the DQINA report. Karnataka procured 16 lakh expired RT-PCR kits. Remember that word RT-PCR and shivers run down my spine. My God, what horrific days all of us witnessed. The DQINA commission, which was constituted to look into the alleged irregularities on the misuse of public funds and abuse of power during the management of COVID-19, has come up with some fresh allegations. In its report, it has trained its guns on the state-run Karnataka State Medical Supplies Corporation Limited, or KSMSCL. The commission has alleged that the KSMSCL procured items worth nearly 45 crores without any administrative approval during the pandemic. Isn't that shocking? No administrative approval. The commission added that the government had approved the procurement of RT-PCR kits, RNA extraction kits and a few other equipments which were worth 60.8 crores, but KSMSCL records indicate that the total value of items procured was actually 106.25 crores. Hence, for nearly 45 crore rupees worth of items, there was absolutely no approval from the government. Also, the commission alleges that over 16 lakh RT-PCR kits procured by the body had in fact expired or nearing expiry date. Scary. It also found that the KSMSCL is yet to recover 6.99 crores paid to a Singapore-based company for supplying 1 lakh rapid antigen kits, the order for which was later cancelled over delay in supply. The commission has called for a departmental and legal proceeding against the officials concerned from the KSMCL and for the recovery of the due money. In its response, the body stated to have intimated the DQINA commission that for want of necessary condition in the purchase order and invitation for court for replacement of the expired kits, it is unable to take action against the suppliers. You know what? Unfortunately, corruption is not the sole preoccupation of any political party. Because I know what you're thinking. Most are the same. But you know what makes this case very, very unique and rather horrifically is that this kind of embezzlement happened when the people of this country were dying every 20 minutes. Let's now speak to the guests. Nizam Faujdar, General Secretary and Spokesperson KPCC, joined us, and Anand Gurumurthy, Spokesperson for the BJP in Karnataka. Very warm welcome to both of you. But what a horrific, shocking story. Anand Gurumurthy, lots to read. Where do I start from? I mean, no government approval. What was it? Some kind of a banana republic of a state? This was your government which was in power. You had a doctor as health minister. Look at this, reams and reams of it. Unmute Anand. Anand, unmute.
Yep. First of all, let me start off with the first thing. This Kunha report, okay, everybody quotes single sentences from the report, but it has not been tabled. It has not been tabled from how many days? Like they've been talking about it in the by-election. Even before that, they were talking about this. There was a chief secretary panel that was appointed to look into the report, and the committee was formed and was told to present the report, but nothing has been tabled. Why they are not tabling it? Why they are just coming out with sentences and misleading the media first and then misleading the entire state again is something the Congress has to answer. Okay, see, basically what they are trying to do is they are not coming out with the report and trying to confuse people. So my first statement is very clear. Let them come out with the entire report. Let the people of the state and country read the report. Then let the media start, training their guns on anybody.
Fair enough, Anand, fair enough. Suppose all this is a lie. All this, the justice, with due respects to Justice De Quina, all this is a lie, it's perpetrated. But is it shocking for you? If you read this, will it shock you?
See, first of all, any report, that too by a judge, retired judge, will be kind of a judgment kind of a thing only. And
is it shocking, Anand? This is a simple yes or no.
Hey, you cannot ask me a sentence and say yes or no. It's not a yes or no, this thing. Let me give you an answer properly, okay? See, justice has given something, the report has to be read. If you take away one sentences given to media by some, people of the Congress.
All right, I'm not buying this.
Agenda
whenever you guys are in doubt, you will shoot us.
Yes or
media,
no
this, that. Come on. Nizam Faujdar, please come in here. This is so shocking, and to say that 1122 lines, he wants that, like Hema committee report also in neighboring Kerala, they only gave important points, for us to understand. I mean, I can't possibly read legalese to you. I don't understand legalese. I have to go to a lawyer to understand it. What's he talking about, Nizam Faujdar? This is shocking. No government approval, expired RT-PCR kits. Are you kidding me?
When allegations are so true, and when you can't answer, you start grinning. And when you start grinning, you start laughing and saying that it's a small joke. We don't know what is happening. And this is the affair that was carried out in the most dangerous times of our lifetime. I think 40 lakh or 60 lakh, or I don't know. These are just what is being said, that these are which has been identified. Imagine those lakhs and lakhs and crores of kits that were used across the state, if they were expired or closer to expiry, or they were not certified, how safe were they, how unsafe were they. That means this government was playing with the lives of the people, 6 crore people of the state. And today Mr. Gurumurthy sits and says it's one-liner, two-liner. It's one. Dikuna is a judge. You have to understand the seriousness of the person who is doing the inquiry.
Exactly.
You may throw allegations at Congress, you may throw allegations against the JDS or any other party, but you are basically questioning the sanity, you're basically questioning his honesty, his integrity, and saying what he has found out is wrong. How can you should, there's one more, Prahlad Joshi, apologizes to the Dikuna because he was saying he's an agent of Congress, and you have to see that Yediyurappa is saying that I have been wrongly targeted because there is the commission is asking for a prosecution of the sitting the chief minister, and how can you there were Sudha. The PPE kits, when they were supposed to be transported from the supplier to the godowns of the medical godowns, the quotation had the inclusion of the transportation, but these people go out and pay extra money to the transporters. Where did that money go? Whom were they paying? Why were they paying? Why did they make such huge procurements? The 50 ventilators were purchased, which were supposed to come from the PM CARES funds, but these people chose to also pay from their pockets. And when the inquiry was happening, they've paid extra 20 ventilators money, but they don't have records for the 80 ventilators that has been extra paid.
Right. Okay. Anand, you know, the Dequina report, I mean, before we cast aspersions and say it is politically motivated, like I say, Anand, it's not about politics, it's about you and I. I lost a lot of my friends. Wait a minute, let me finish, Anand. I'm giving you the last word. I'm giving you the last word, Mr. Gurumurthy. Please wait for a second. The thing is that apparently KSMC-SL was required to follow up the matter. They never did. Because of which there was a lack of 3.11 crore to the state exchequer. The state belongs to you, it belongs to...
Where did you get all this from the report?
Well, I've got it from my reporter. My reporter.
No. Where is the report? Mr. Faujdar is coming here and, throwing allegations here against a time when it was the toughest and BJP did the best. Since there was BJP at the national and in the state,
it's not your fault. It is not Baswaraj Bommai's fault that some people were corrupt. But it has happened. Stop being defensive.
Madam, please wait.
Let
me speak also.
Go.
It was a wonderful way it was handled, and here he comes. He is trying to twist my statement also. I am telling, show me the report so that I can read the entire report. Let the entire state read the report. But they don't want to show the report. They just want to come up with one-liners to the press, which you press people start talking about it day and night without even thinking. Why are you not thinking when liars like Mr. Nizam Fauzdar come here and start, throwing allegations which are
if this suppose out of this 50%, even if 50%, if you don't allow me to talk on my show, no one shouts, Anand. No one shouts. No one shouts. We will not, I will not allow you to shout, Anand Gurumurthy. You are wasting my time. Okay, Nizam, I want to come to you because Anand doesn't want to listen to me. And on the South Indian, we are South Indians. We don't shout. That's the demarcation I make here. And it's my show. Nizam Faujdar, I want to ask you that when is the government planning to, release the report?
Sudha, the report is ready. I think it's going through some final, it all depends on Mr. Justice Dequina, how he wants to present it, whether he wants to have some drafts corrected, the final, the finer prints that needs to be taken care of. And I'm sure when he's ready, the government will release this report. I don't think so Mr. Gurumurthy should come here and accused you or me saying that you are reading one-liners and then accusing the others. Let him read. There's a lot of material on The Hindu, The Indian Express, The Deccan Herald. So many newspapers have covered this report with detalities. And then he can read that and come here and speak about it. We are not making allegations from my, just because of my imagination or your imagination. The Gurumurthy needs to understand that it is coming from some facts. Respectable, highly regarded newspapers are printing these reports. We are not coming up with our imagination.
No, one should
he needs
not,
to say, why did this government, why did the BJP government play with the lives of the people? That's a simple question. The money can go, the money can come in.
All right. And with that, thank you very much, both of you. Anand Gurumurthy, thank you so much for joining us. And also thank you so much, Nizam Faujdar, for joining us on this broadcast. I've completely run out of time, or else I would have loved to carry on this conversation. For now, thank you indeed.
ग्लोबल समिट में आए सभी साथियों को मेरा नमस्कार। मुझे इस बात की भी खुशी है कि न्यूज़ 9 इंग्लिश न्यूज़ चैनल भी लॉन्च किया जा रहा है।
Special congratulations to TV9. Now you are truly becoming global.
And therefore I must congratulate Varun Das ji. He has, in his own way, started an epoch-making trend.
The News9 Global Summit is the latest example to demonstrate that India and Baden-Württemberg are getting closer in many different respects.
I compliment Mr. Jubali, Mr. Barundas and Mr. Casper, conceptualizing and organizing this grand platform.
And I really want to thank TV9 Group, and it's a harbinger of many things to come.
Considered a wonderful product when it was invented. It solved many problems of human lives. We are talking about plastic.
Did you know the plastic in your house is as old as the oldest person in your family?
India almost produces somewhere around 9.3 million metric tons of plastic every year.
It is not dissolving, it is not evaporating, it is not vanishing from sight, it is just breaking down into our soil and ocean. So plastic is just going to be there.
So we need to go back to the questions, we need to go back to the start. When did water bottles come to our consciousness? Why was it marketed like that?
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
India spends $75 billion on foreign cargo vessels.
$75 billion per annum. You know, that's a lot of money.
Imagine a situation where 95% of our cargo is coming on ships which are not owned by us. If we are still not prepared, if someone were to say that we are not going to give you ships, then we'll be stuck. So the entire nation's economy is at risk.
We are very clear that shipping is also strategic, because without that you can't really be the third largest economy in the world.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.